During your Monster Hunter Frontier journey, you'll encounter a lot of walls. You'll also have to familiarise yourself with monsters that you'll need to grind over and sodding over. Normally a lot of those monsters become irrelevant once you get all the materials that you need. However, there is one monster that you'll have to face endlessly for the foreseeable future. I'm Symmetry, and here's how to face White Fatalis in Monster Hunter Frontier. Now, to begin, if you're not sure what Monster Hunter Frontier or the Hunter's Road are, I would recommend going to check out Sephiren's video, which I will place in the description below. For those of you familiar with Monster Hunter Frontier, White Fatalis is essentially a zenith monster, being able to emit roars, tremors and wind pressure that surpass existing levels of those effects. His attacks cover a very wide area and are highly damaging, however he can be turned into paste with some insight and familiarity. So the main thing here is, why should we do White Fatalis? Let me explain. Every single week you can get enough materials from fighting White Fatalis to make and max out a single piece of armour. This armour can be upgraded and turned into decorations with points in very desirable skills. However, you only get enough items from him to make one armour piece per week, and you have to do 3 White Fatalis to get them. So, with that, it kind of makes sense to learn how to fight this guy. So enough messing around. There are 2 rules to White Fatalis. First of all, the safest place to be is close to him or below him. Second of all, he follows a strict script, even though he may forget his lines occasionally. You fight White Fatalis in a small arena, and a lot of his attacks will have a wide area of effect that can catch you even if you're on the other side of the area, as well as being coupled with homing lightning bolts that target you if you're not next to him. Also, there's his DPS check, however we'll get to that later. Point being, if you're not as close to him as you can be, then you're in for some misery. So on to the mechanics. He has 2 phases, the first of which is where he flies in. Normally, when you engage him, he will do claw swipe into a body slam attack. Both of these are incredibly predictable, you can see them coming from a mile off. The claw swipe can be easily guarded, however I would recommend an evade for the body slam. He also has a script for his transition to the second phase. You'll see a cutscene where he turns red. I would recommend that you skip that. A circle of lightning will close in from the arena's perimeter. Now what I would say is get as close to him as you can, activate your Transcendence, because you will be invincible for the lightning closing in, and then White Fatalis will roar. You'll also be invincible for that, after which you can punish him for his hubris. Okay, so that's the script out of the way, let's move on to the attacks. There are 3 or 4 to look out for. First of all, which is the main one that caught me out when I was starting, the jump back laser. Fatalis will fly up in the air and jump back whilst you hear a charge up sound, then slam down and immediately fire a laser. If you get caught, it's a multi-hit attack, so you cannot guard it. Your only option is to dodge to his left or right. Now this has a very precise timing, so the moment he slams down you want to evade. However, if you manage to pull that off, you'll emerge unscathed. Next up is the air laser. White Fatalis will fly up and hover for a second. He'll blast a laser and move it around that covers a wide area beneath him. Avoiding that laser is very easy. You walk to the left or the right, you can be pretty pedestrian with it. However, you have to make sure that you're ready for him to slam down, because when he lands, there'll be a quake, there'll be some lightning. You've got to make sure that you can dodge or guard it. Then there's the double foot stomp. Now I didn't get footage of this in this video, however the reason I mention it is it pretty much follows a lot of the patterns as the DPS check that we'll get to in a second. White Fatalis will raise his left leg, slam, do the same with the other leg, then he'll flap his wings and do zenith wind. Then after that he will roar. Now you can dodge or guard all of this, make sure that you expect it to come out at all times because it has a pretty slow wind up, and if you get caught by one, there's a chance you'll get caught by all of the others. It's a very dangerous attack. Finally, there is an attack that I have lovingly called the centerpiece. If White Fatalis faces either away from you or to the center of the arena, you've got to get ready, because what he'll do is he'll fly up, he'll hover towards the center of the arena, and he'll slam down. The slam will produce a damaging quake. You've got to make sure you guard that. After that, he'll roar 3 times. Every single roar will carry an AoE thunder attack, and if you're not close to him, you'll get targeted by homing lightning bolts like I mentioned earlier. It's a horrible attack. You've got to just make sure that you guard, dodge, all of it, otherwise you're in for some punishment. Finally is the DPS check. White Fatalis is guaranteed to do this 3 times per hunt, and it follows a strict pattern. First of all, he will jump back and flap his wings, making a zenith level wind effect. It's imperative that you dodge or guard this, as it will push you away. Next, he'll charge up and roar, then fire a laser into the sky. If you're far away, this hits you and one-shots you through any defensive skills you may have. Your hunter literally disappears during the death screen. However, if you're close to White Fatalis, it will still target you, however it will hit him first, damage and stagger him. The jump back doesn't have the same charge up noise as the aforementioned laser, so make sure you're on the ball in phase 2. After 3 of these, just keep hitting him till he dies, then you'll finally conquer the beast. Some final notes are the fact that you want to get hit by the zenith level wind in the second phase transition, because it sends you to the edge of the arena. You have to stand by the pillars that are there, because White Fatalis will bombard the area with lightning balls. All you have to do is look out and make sure that the area near you isn't lighting up. If it does light up, you just guard or dodge, and it's simple. The reason you want to be by the pillars is White Fatalis will go through the gap in the pillars and you don't want to get caught by him. So that pretty much sums it up. That's how to beat White Fatalis. It gave me a bunch of trouble when I was trying to do it solo. Had to be carried the first couple of times, but once you sort of go into the fight with enough knowledge to know how to beat it, then you're pretty much good. A bit of a longer video than I would have liked, but hopefully it helps. Let me know if it does. If you don't know what Frontier or Hunter's Road is, again, check out Saffron's video and just educate yourself. Good seeing you guys. I'll see you all later.